good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome to Ticket Price, the only show that asks the question that matters. Are these movies worth the ticket price? In other words, are they worth your time and money? Thank you for tuning in. My name is Jake, co-host and voice of the show. Sitting across the way with me, as always, co-host extraordinaire and the only man who auditioned for Slipknot but was deemed too horrifying, even under the mask. Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, how are you, sir?
Well, I'm a little offended, but whatever.
You know what? I have it on good authority that you are kind of attractive.
Barely.
Just
barely. I'm doing okay. I want to set something to rest that's been bothering me for about 6 minutes.
Whoa! Well, I'm glad that you're letting this just soul-crushing grudge out so it stops ruining your life.
And I've actually brought it up in conversation before. It's about Bill Paxton.
R.I.P. Bill Paxton.
About him being the only person in cinema history to be killed by a Terminator, an alien, and a Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there's two things wrong with it.
Okay.
One, somebody has, and I can't remember where I saw it. I was online somewhere. They brought up that he was not the only one. It was also Lance Hendrickson, who has been killed by a Terminator, an alien, and a Predator as well.
Okay.
But Lance Hendrickson was never killed by an alien. He was ripped apart. He survived, and then he died in the crash in Alien 3.
Was he Bishop?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is false. But then I was rewatching The Terminator the other night. Bill Paxton doesn't get killed by the Terminator.
Because he's one of the, punks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets a pie-faced into the fence and then falls down, and that's all we see of it. He's never killed.
Wait a minute. Are we sure this isn't a Night of the Living Dead? They're coming to get you, Bill. And we're supposed to believe that he died in that moment, even though there's no conceivable way a grown man died from the wounds sustained.
I don't believe it, no. So my whole life has been a lie.
So wait a minute. Your first argument was that Lance, Hendrickson, also achieved this feat.
I had seen this online.
Except he didn't.
Correct.
So now you're arguing your own argument. Then we get to the actual point you're making, is that he didn't actually die in the Terminator.
Right.
Okay.
So my whole thought process of this has been, I've been lied to. I believed the lie. I repeated the lie. And then I did my own research. And I found out that it was, in fact, a lie.
Relax, Fox News.
I know, right?
That's just a jab. It could have been any news outlet. They're all lying, agenda-spewing bastards.
Good job, news.
Yeah, good job, media.
So, yeah, I just, and the reason I bring it up.
Yeah, why are you bringing this up?
Because it pertains to the movie that we're doing.
How?
Because this movie is basically Indiana Jones.
Right.
And the Terminator combined.
No.
Yes.
No.
The Mummy is literally the Terminator. He's an unstoppable killing machine.
So is the Predator.
No, you could stop the Predator.
You could stop the Terminator.
You could shoot the Predator in the leg, and he has to climb up in the tree and repair himself.
Yeah, but he was still able to do that.
Yeah, but he had to take time off to do that. And I guess, you know what? And I just met, okay, this is some bullshit because the Terminator had to stop and repair himself too. So, God damn it.
So what I'm getting at is the Terminator sucks.
No, the Terminator is awesome.
No.
You shut your ass.
It's not. Also, okay, now you know what? You've started this. Let's talk about something that's irked me for the last 45 seconds now that I've really thought about it. In what universe do the clothes those street hooligans are wearing fit Arnold Schwarzenegger's frame? I'm sorry. Compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bill Paxton dressed in the youth section. Yeah. Right?
Oh, no, I know.
He's in a 5T compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The only way it makes sense is if one of the members of the gang was Viscera.
Now, to be fair, our listeners might also know him as Big Daddy V or Mabel.
Correct.
No one knows who we're talking about.
No, absolutely not.
But I'm just
or Mark Henry. It could be Mark Henry too.
That's true.
He could have been a member of the gang.
Yeah.
But that's the only two, I think.
Now, how much better would Terminator have been if he had jumped someone dressed like Jesse the Body Ventura or superstar Billy Graham? So here comes the Terminator with the huge pink feathery boa and the psychedelic, t-shirts and the colors.
And put the earring in and everything.
With the feather.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
Would have been better.
Absolutely.
Anything would have been better.
You hush. You hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. The Terminator is amazing. We are looking at the 1999.
How did we get here?
To the Mummy?
No, what is this weird? Well, the Mummy and the Terminator are basically the same thing.
They're both they don't have to eat. They don't have to sleep. They just go.
Except when they don't.
And this movie is a cross between Terminator and Indiana Jones.
It's definitely a cross of Indiana Jones, but I'm not with you on Terminator. I'm not feeling it. Although this movie is Indiana Jones, if Indiana Jones was entertaining.
We're going to fight.
Probably.
We are going to fight.
Today, you know what, everyone? Bingo cards. Some of you might have a square that says Jake and Tevis fight. Gonna want to be ready for that one.
Is there a square that says Tevis breaks out the steel chair?
Hold on, let me text my wife. She can add one.
Can you edit that, please?
Yeah. There's a free space. Write it in.
There you go. There's a write in for you.
All right, getting into it, because apparently we're going to get into it. Yes, we are looking at also Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
As we're done ranting about whatever it is Tevis is ranting about. Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode of Ticket Price for 2025. Yay, woo! Fireworks, explosions, and confetti, air horns. Tevis is going to edit all these crazy sound effects in later.
Kazoos. Recorders.
It's going to sound like a fourth grade school concert.
Like that John Cena.
Yes.
That was always my thought on John Cena.
We're not a wrestling show.
We are today.
When we become a Mojo channel and we just do top 10s, we can do wrestling.
Okay. Tune in next week.
The show takes a hard pivot into exclusive top 10s. I gotta continue, otherwise it's just gonna spiral out of control. Happy New Year, everyone. If you thought we were gonna tighten the belts and clean up our acts and focus and nose to the grindstone sort of thing, you're obviously new to the channel, have no idea who you're dealing with. Welcome, though. We're happy to have you. Just buckle up. It's so much easier when you hit play to just fasten your seatbelt and get ready for the ride. Because where we're going, we don't need roads.
Wow.
That's right. I just thought of that just now.
It's great. It's a great line.
It's about as great as those movies.
Now you're slamming Back to the Future. My God.
No,
this episode, yeah.
No, I for sure like the first one.
Yeah.
I would have to rewatch 2 and 3.
I've watched them recently. 2 is a little bit corny.
Yeah.
Especially the future stuff.
Okay, see, here's the thing. It's been a hot minute since I've seen 2 or 3, but I always remember thinking it goes 1, 3, 2.
Yes.
2 has always been like my least favorite.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But again, it's been so long. And then I just remember, really the only thing I remember in 2 is Michael J. Fox's future mom's boobs, about to fall out at any moment. So much tape is used.
Best scene in the whole movie.
Her huge fake bosoms.
In the whole franchise.
I don't know, in 3 where Doc's bathing and he goes full frontal. I mean,
That kind of, for a PG movie, yeah, that kind of took me back.
I just went, wow, they went somewhere, and I'm for it.
John Hamm was like, damn.
Get out of the way, Ham. It's Christopher Lloyd's time.
Emmett Brown. Damn.
Doc, indeed. All right. Today, ringing in the new year, we are talking about 1999's The Mummy, written by Stephen Sommers, Lloyd Fonville, and Kevin Jarre. Red flag.
Stephen Sommers.
Well, 3 writers.
Oh, and Stephen Sommers.
Directed, Stephen Sommers. Red flag. Writer-director.
Stephen Sommers.
What else has he done?
Deep Rising.
I know.
It's got Treat Williams in it. It's got a monster on a boat. It honestly, it's a fun movie to watch. It's kind of stupid,
Sure.
but it's fun.
Okay.
But he did Mummy Returns,
Obviously.
Van Helsing,
Gross.
and G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra.
Gross.
Yes. So it goes Dumb, The Mummy, Dumb, Gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yet his filmography is still better than Zack Snyder's. Zack Snyder sucks. His movies are bad.
Yeah, they're pretty much they're battling for that trophy, I think.
No, not even. Actually, so my buddy.
You would rather watch Rise of Cobra than Army of the Dead?
Yeah.
Than...
And I have not seen either of them.
Oh, Rise of the Cobra is so awful.
So's Army of the Dead by all accounts. All unanimous accounts. This movie sucks. So I have a buddy who so 2024, he set out on a journey. He was going to watch at least one movie a day.
Okay.
And he did it. He stuck to it and he did it. And he said throughout the, movies, and he would just pick random, just kind of, oh, hey, I'll watch that, whatever he could find. And he watched a number of Zack Snyder movies. And he said every time he watched any of the Zack Snyder movies he watched, including Army of the Dead, and man, there was another one he said he watched. I can't remember what it was now. But he's like, every time he watched a Snyder movie, he remembers thinking the exact phrase, this might be the worst movie I've watched all year. And then at the end of the year, he realized he thought that about every single Zack Snyder movie.
That's fair.
I just went, yeah, Zack Snyder's bad.
Yeah, I agree.
And I still don't know what he looks like because in my head, I know I'm picturing Eli Roth. And Zack Snyder movies are so bad, I want to punch Eli Roth in the face because I'm going to mistake him for Zack Snyder. But to be fair, Eli Roth isn't very good either.
Oh, no. Eli Roth is terrible.
So he's going to get punched for a different guy's sins, but deep down, he knows he deserves it too. Sometimes I wish that I would be granted a superpower. And that just my fist could warp space and time and create some sort of teleporting wormhole. So then I could just
Doctor Strange.
So then I could just face punch. I can't travel through it, just my fist. And it face punches just into whoever I'm thinking about.
But okay, so if you're thinking about it, do you have to actually know what that person looks like? Or can you just be like,
Eli Roth might get a lot of face punches. I don't know. I don't know how the power works. I just know it works.
Okay. Well, if you do get that power, let me know.
Oh, you'll be the first to know. Tevis is sitting on the toilet when all of a sudden a little wormhole opens. He gets punched in the face.
Like, God damn it, I'm not Zack Snyder.
Damn it. Wrong hole. All right. So many people are going to hear, take that, Zack Snyder. Not Snyder. Damn it. I don't know what he looks like, and I don't care enough to look him up. No, I think everyone's like, no, I want like Magneto's powers. I want Storm's powers. No, I want a wormhole that just allows me to face punch all the people that need to be face punched.
It's a good power. I like that.
Right? It's not over the top. It's just right. So no, I'm just saying those movies, Steven Sommers movies, it's not a great list, but it could be worse. Starring, back to 99's Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz with a budget. I did double take at this.
At the budget?
At the budget.
Okay.
And then I had to double check my sources to make sure I was on some sort of joke page. Because at first I was like, this can't be right. I've
Really?
written down the wrong numbers or I'm looking at the wrong thing. Made with an estimated $80 million.
80?
80 000 000.
Okay.
$80 million.
Well, there are a lot of effect shots in this.
And that's got to be. Were they filming on location? Were they in Egypt for this?
That I don't know.
Well, my only thought was, and I remember, well, we'll get into it when we do histories, but like, it's got to be effects. That's it, right?
Yeah. And we'll get into that too.
But $80 million worth of effects?
I mean, this was 99, so it wasn't readily available like it is now.
I guess that's true. And when you think about what the effects are, a lot of sand. And if you're doing sand effects, you might as well just be doing water effects. And those are, what, aren't they considered like the hardest? Like fluid simulation and
considering the fluid simulations weren't really as well as they are now. Yeah. I've tried to do, and no, I can't do it. It's way beyond my skill set.
face punch.
So what did it make?
With a worldwide gross of $417.6 million.
Jesus.
Here's the thing. We can sit here and joke about it all day. But you and I were both alive and were movie-going audiences when this movie came out. The Mummy was a big deal in its time.
Yes, it was.
Like, it was the summer blockbuster.
It was.
So, 5 award wins, 24 nominations, including an Oscar nomination for Best Sound. Because again, if you have a movie with gunfire, you get nominated for an Oscar for Best Sound. That's literally how it works.
It seems to be the case, yes.
And this movie does have guns.
Lots of guns.
It has a fair amount of guns. I wouldn't say it has a lot of guns. So, Tevis, moment of truth. What is your history with the Mummy?
Okay, before I go into my history.
Oh, you bitch.
The Mummy was the 27th highest grossing film of 1999.
Sure.
Worldwide. You know what number 1 was?
Matrix.
No.
I don't know.
Star Wars. Episode 1.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Gross. And you know what? I saw Phantom Menace in theaters. Both of my parents fell dead ass asleep in the theater watching Phantom Menace.
I walked into Phantom Menace super excited. I walked out very confused and sad.
See, and I was the target audience at the time for Phantom Menace. And I left going, if I could just warp my fist right into Jar Jar Binks' face.
Okay. History of this film. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, no, thank you. Because of one person. Brendan Fraser. I've watched.
Was it because of Airheads?
That's one of them.
Encino Man?
That's another one of them.
George of the Jungle?
Blast from the Past.
Oh, God, I forgot.
I was like, no, there's no absolute way I'm going to spend money on this. And then I think I rented it, or maybe it was on TV for some reason. I don't remember. But I do remember watching it. And I was completely wrong about Brendan Fraser. Fraser.
Stop. You're saying his name wrong.
It's Fraser.
Yes.
Fraser.
It's not pronounced Fraser.
Fraser. Brendan. So my
Brandon Fraser
Brendan
from Milwaukee.
But after I watched it, man, he was so good in this movie. I became a fan. And I never went back and watched Encino Man or anything like that. I wasn't that huge of a fan, but
hey, buddy.
When he disappeared for a while, I was like, man, where'd this guy go? And then I watched when he came back and did The Whale. Have you watched that?
No, not yet.
Oh my God. It's so good. He is so good in that. But no, I really enjoyed The Mummy. Watched it multiple times, have it in my collection, showed the kid. Her reaction was, do they just cut and paste those mummies? I'm like, kind of, probably, yeah.
No, they were obviously people in costume.
Not the CGI ones.
Oh, the ones, well, yeah, we'll get there.
But
it was 99. It was a simpler time.
It was no, I always
it
enjoyed
was the
watching
peak of human civilization.
Apparently, with Star Wars being the #1 worldwide gross.
We didn't know how bad it would get. We thought it was at the all-time worst. We didn't know.
Beat Toy Story 2. The Green Mile.
Oh, now I'm angry.
Wild Wild West.
Gross.
Deep Blue Sea was out that year. That was
second
22.
Greatest shark movie of all time.
Heck yeah. Anyway, sorry, pardon me. What is your history with this mummy?
I would wormhole punch George Lucas right in the face. I hate George Lucas. That guy sucks. I'm sorry. Attack of the Clones, Episode 2, is still the worst Star Wars movie ever made.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No, that goes to Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi.
No, Rise of Skywalker is second worst. Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie ever made.
Absolutely not.
Yes, it is.
How can you be so wrong?
I wouldn't know because I've never. The only time I'm wrong is when I think I've done something wrong. I'm never wrong, and you should know that by now.
Where's my chair?
Rise of Skywalker is definitely like second worst for sure. But just that whole Anakin and Padme on
that
Naboo, and he's riding that really shitty looking alien cow thing, and like
the giant tick.
The giant tick, and falls off its back. And then they're rolling in the grass. It's the most awful, stilted dialogue.
I believe that they were in love
with what they were getting paid.
I don't like sand.
It's coarse.
It gets everywhere.
God.
Let me magically bring this pear up to your lips and let you eat it.
God, that movie is worse.
That is Love Actually levels of cringe.
How dare you? While you were sleeping, levels of cringe. Actually, while you were sleeping, levels of chemistry. And I like Natalie Portman. I don't like Hayden Christensen. I don't dislike Hayden Christensen, but I've never thought he was a good actor. I have nothing against him personally. He seems like a nice guy. I would buy a house from Hayden Christensen. Okay. Like he should go into realty or something, not just let it go.
Here we go.
What are we talking about?
Honestly, I have no idea where we are right now.
Well, you see,
we are on your history with this film.
Because this film is basically Indiana Jones meets Attack of the Clones.
Because there's so much sand.
And everyone hates it because it's coarse and it gets everywhere. No, my history with the Mummy First time, it was in 99. We rented it, watched it. Everyone enjoyed it. It was fun. We all had a good time. It had a few quotable lines we would always throw around at each other. We bought it at some point. And I, for this, dug out my old, not Blu ray, not 4K, the old DVD.
God, you animal.
And like its original release DVD. Like the first batch of DVDs the Mummy was made on.
Did you have to flip it halfway through?
Well, no, but I did have to make sure the right side was facing up, or the whole thing was gonna.
Oh, one side had full screen, the other side had widescreen.
And no, one side had nothing. It had a menu screen, I guess.
It was just play.
It was like, yeah, but like so it was, all the options are written in hieroglyphics, and then as you move the cursor up and down, it translates to English, right? So you had, your special features and your scene select and whatever, but it looks
trash. Was it animated?
Yes. And
was the special features just trailer?
I didn't look. It looked like somebody imported a movie poster for the film and put it on like a Microsoft Paint document, and then added little clip art effects of like sand going by.
Oh.
And it was like all the words were really pixelated and honestly kind of hard to read.
State of the art.
And for some reason, play was one of the middle options, not the first one. So I'm like, where the hell is play?
You have to click through all the hieroglyphics to find it. It's like an Easter egg.
I had to learn hieroglyphics to find it. But no, this has been a movie that has been in the collection and I've watched multiple times over the years. Yes.
Okay.
And again, I was just like, oh, Brendan Fraser. All right.
It's Fraser.
It's not. Cannot stress that enough.
I guess I should bow to you because you learned hieroglyphics for this, so you probably know how to pronounce Fraser better than I do.
It's Brendan Fraser and Raquel Wise. Raquel Wise. I learned hieroglyphics. It's a stork. It's some sort of bird. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Opening narration as we get a trip through ancient Thebes.
I thought we were about to play a video game when this opening scene come up, but it's still cool looking. I like it.
It doesn't look bad.
No.
It looks aged because this movie came out in 99, so I'm not saying that as a fault. It's just a statement of fact. But you know what? I remember thinking it was cool when I watched this movie originally. And now I was like, it still looks cool. It's cool. I like seeing ancient cities recreated to be like their heyday, kind of like a Rome and Gladiator.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. But now I was being jaded and older, I was like, opening narration exposition, damn it. As the Magi walked us through ancient Egypt, Thebes, the Pharaoh's concubine, the Pharaoh's high priest. The high priest and the concubine are having an affair.
The Nuxanamun?
Yeah.
Man.
And Imhotep.
Imhotep. I love those two names.
They're hot fire.
Fabulous names.
I do believe Imhotep is the actual name of the original pyramid architects, or the original architect for the first pyramids. I think is Imhotep. Not this Imhotep, but the name.
The name. Yeah.
Imhotep.
I know that name was actually like a real person or whatever, real name.
Anaxunamun.
How great did she look when she walked on screen in the gold paint?
Butterface.
What?
Is that what we're talking about? Or just how good, like, the costume design is?
The costume, the look of her as a character.
Oh, yeah. Same with Imhotep,
Yeah.
though. Like, yeah.
And the
And
Pharaoh,
also-
even the Pharaoh too.
Yeah,
Like he
everybody, the
he
costume
looks
design is on
so
point.
cool.
Absolutely. And I don't know his name, but also it helps that the actor playing Emotep walked straight from a J. Crew catalog. That helps a lot.
Good point. Yeah.
But no, Anoxinamoon is a bit of a butterface.
I did not like the servants that were all covered in gold and
See, though, I was cool with it because they weren't servants. They were Emotep's priests.
oh, that's true.
He's the high priest. They're his subordinate priests.
Yeah, they
So
look
knowing-
like Oscar statues.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
But knowing that there is a religious subtext to it, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, I just didn't care for their design.
I don't know. It still fit the vibe, though.
Well, you're wrong, just like everything else on this episode, but whatever. We're moving on. I'm not going to let this drag me down.
I'm going to hit you with a stunner so hard.
And I'm going to sell that like Vince McMahon does.
Just collapse. And then have convulsions. My favorite is when he had a mini seizure after the fact.
If only he really would have.
Yeah. Oh, actually, but we learned, the Pharaoh had his concubine or whatever she was. Not his wife, I know that, but he was Pharaoh. It was a different time. But she was on the no-touch list. She belonged to the Pharaoh.
Right.
But she and Emotep were in love. They were having an affair. Emotep is real handsy, apparently.
Yeah, but he did that on purpose.
Well, yeah,
Just
because
rubs the shit out of her shoulder and smudges up her mascara.
He smudges up her body paint. And then the Pharaoh, who in my notes I wrote Egyptian Peter Boyle. Picture him in your head.
Yes,
Egyptian Peter Boyle.
you're not wrong.
And I was just like, oh yeah, but this is intentional because they enact their plot to assassinate him.
Oh yeah.
Also, I always thought when I was a kid watching this, I thought, my God, how strong is that Pharaoh? Because the priests are closing these huge, heavy, ornate doors, so Emotep and Anoxinamoon can do their deed, right? And I imagine the priests just watch.
Oh yeah, they were gonna watch. Are you kidding? One was making popcorn. What are you talking about?
Cock chairs abound. And then they're trying to.
Don't forget the lube, Steve.
She had so much body paint on. I think it was unnecessary. They were trying to close the doors. And then the Pharaoh just counter pushes and he out pushes like 4 guys.
Hell yeah.
I remember thinking, my God, and now I'm watching it this time going, my God, how strong is the Pharaoh?
That's why he's the Pharaoh.
That's right. See, it wasn't about bloodline. It was about it was like Idiocracy. It was who was the physically strongest man and the reigning world heavyweight champion. Have you seen Idiocracy?
It's been a while.
So remember when he goes into the future, the president is played by Terry Crews.
Yes.
But the reason he's president is because he's the professional wrestling world heavyweight champion and no one can beat him. So he became president because he just beat everyone.
Can we bring that to now?
I'd be, I've often thought, both politically and in the business world, promotions should be settled in cage matches.
Just like Mad Max.
Is your
Thunderdome.
Is your boss a prick who's also incompetent at their job? I challenge you to a cage match. Winner gets the job.
Absolutely.
World would be a better place. We've taken all the violence out of life. Except humans are stupid, stupid creatures. And we need a little violence. So if we incorporate small amounts of meaningful violence in a controlled setting, I think the world would be a better place. Office cage matches.
I'm for it. Let's get rid of the stupid slap fight competition and let's replace it with that.
No, let's get rid of HR.
Okay.
HR departments, useless.
I agree.
Here's what they don't tell you. They don't serve the employees. That is a lie we are fed. HR serves the company.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not there for you. You know what is there for you? 10 feet of solid steel with a referee.
Hell yeah. I want that supervisor job. Let's do this.
And then I want his supervisor's job.
No DQ. Damn it. Back to the movie. We're not a wrestling podcast.
No, at the moment, we're just dropping hot fire life advice. We are a social commentary podcast. So, Imhotep and his woman murder the pharaoh. Except the pharaoh's bodyguards have something to say about that.
Yeah, they're not real thrilled.
No. And how do I put it? Their costumes are simple. They're effective.
Yeah, for what they
Most of these guys look like they were extras in Fast and the Furious.
That is true too.
But they then, so Anck-su-namun kills herself, claiming that no man will ever touch her again. And she stabs herself. So then Imhotep takes her body, steals it away, and goes to Hamunaptra, the city of the dead. And he's got the Book of the Dead, and he's going to bring her back to life. Except the Pharaoh's bodyguards uncover the plot, break up the ritual before it can be completed, and, well, they enact a series of punishments. All of the supporting priests are mummified alive, meaning tongues are cut out and I guess organs are removed and brains are lobotomized while they're still alive.
Sounds great. Sounds fun.
But Imhotep, he gets a special one.
What did the hum die?
Something to that effect.
Yeah, I think it was the hum die.
Now, they removed organs, did they not?
I think they did.
Or did they just remove her organs, not his? I'm not so sure they removed his.
What'd they put in those jars?
I think those were hers.
So he had to regenerate himself by recovering her
No,
jars?
he regenerated himself by assimilating those guys.
Yeah, but he had to go after the jars
Because
that weren't his.
to bring her back. He needed her jars to bring her back.
Okay. That makes... Honestly, I never even really thought about it. I always thought they were just his own shit.
See, so did I, but I'm not so sure they are.
I don't remember now.
They cut out his tongue, do some other stuff, mess him up, wrap him in mummy wrappings while he's still alive and kicking and fidgeting, put him in a sarcophagus, and then dump those flesh-eating scarabs all over him.
Yeah, those look like shit.
They look fine.
Sure.
They look fine.
$80 million.
In 1999, they looked fine. And we learn that he is essentially very slowly eaten alive. Then we jump to present day, where we see the French Foreign Legion.
Yes.
They are standing their ground in the ruins of Hamunaptra. It's a bunch of Egyptian people are...
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure who they were
or
why they were there.
What?
Why the French was there or what was going on. Just, I think they wrote down battle.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we see the French Foreign Legion preparing to open fire on a cavalry charge. Now, I do want to point this out. I actually really appreciate this battle because they have the appropriate number of extras and horses. Those aren't CGI. That's an actual cavalry charge.
Yeah. I like this battle. It was actually kind of fun.
Because you can always tell a CGI cavalry charge because they do the horses wrong. Their spacing and the way they run is never right.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But then when you watch like The Mummy or
Braveheart.
not oh,
Patriot.
shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
Nobody watches that movie.
Lawrence of Arabia. Those are real cavalry charges where the horses are just the spacing between it's all over the place. Like it's like two are here and then one's away. You know, it just because horses are gonna run how they run.
Yeah.
They're not. How do I put this?
You're not bound by programming.
Charging into battle. Horses are not going to run in perfect rows and columns. Just not how it works. Excuse me. But I do have to question Brendan Fraser's tactics. So the French Foreign Legion's commander throws his saber down and takes off running. He's out. To which Benny, the creepy little sidekick, he's like, I think you just got promoted.
Ugh. You sound just like him.
Thank you. He's like, all right, hold. And they're almost doing like a don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes sort of thing. But that's stupid.
Yeah.
They should have already been firing in alternating ranks.
I agree.
And this isn't the only movie that does it. A lot of it's like, oh no, you don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes. Yeah, historically, do you know why that rule was? You know why they did that during the revolution?
Because their guns sucked.
Because their guns sucked.
Yeah.
And they were so low on ammunition, they could not afford to miss a single bullet. Every bullet had to hit home. Well, the only way to guarantee that was to make sure the enemy was so close, you would have to actively be firing in a different direction to not hit them, right? But in The Mummy, they're using bolt-action rifles. Just shoot that motherfucker.
They're trying to build the tension.
Yes. So we get a battle. It's fine. I mean, Brendan Fraser does a lot of running.
A lot of running, a lot of jumping, a lot of
missed shots
with his dueling pistols.
I like, though, he's American. So he's shooting his rifle, and then that's empty. So he throws it down. So he pulls out pistols, and he starts shooting those. And then those are out. He throws them, then he pulls out revolvers. And I'm just like, America. But the invading force push him to the heart of the city, where the horses will no longer go. They will not enter the inner courtyard of Hamunaptra. And so the attacking force leaves instead of just shooting him.
Yeah, well, they get spooked. They do too. The soldiers.
But you know what wouldn't get spooked? A real quick bullet.
Yeah. And credits.
I'm just saying. But everyone gets spooked. They leave, and Brendan Fraser is then kind of attacked by jets of sand.
That freaked me out.
I like where he's like, oh shit, and he like jumps and then turns his back into it so it doesn't hit him right in the face, which then made me question how many takes did he just get blasted right in the face? And he was like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
He's like, I'm gonna give you one good take. Ooh, the sound wasn't quite right. Eat my ass. The sound wasn't right.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me from what I learned about Mr. Summers.
Oh, really?
Did you know about the hanging scene?
No.
Brendan Fraser almost died.
What?
During the hanging scene. Apparently, they had the rope actually around his neck to make it look better. And there was something about Stephen Summers kept saying, it doesn't look, I'm not buying it. You don't look like you're actually choking. So they wanted to do it again. And at this point, I in the article I read, and I can't remember where I read it at. It was online somewhere. Brendan Fraser was like, I don't really want to do it again. But Stephen Summers talked him into doing it one more time. So they tightened up the rope a little bit more. And they said, hey, when you do this, like hold your breath, make your face look red, make it look like you're actually choking. Well, he actually was. and passed out
Oh my God.
and almost died. And they had to revive him. But then in an article, interview rather, that Stephen Summers gave, they were talking about it. And he was like, yeah, this is what happened. But honestly, Brendan did it to himself because he was trying to act so hard. And I'm not verbatim, obviously. But
Yeah.
so in my head, when I read that, I was like, fuck this guy. Like, you're
Yeah.
the director of the movie. It's your responsibility to make sure everybody is safe. Like, this is your thing.
He acted like he was choking so hard. He had to actually be revived. Yeah, that's not physically possible.
So, yeah. So after I read that, I was like, man, this Stephen Summers guy seems like a dick.
Yeah, that guy probably sucks.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's like, no, blast him in the face with sand. And friends are like, no, I'm not doing that. That fucking hurt.
Yeah, he probably did
I
it once.
still have it in my eye, and I'm filming The Whale. Like,
It's still there. It's coarse and it gets everywhere. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, fuck you, Stephen Summers. He acted too hard. Shut up. Shut up. Make a good movie, you fuck. All right. Benny, throughout all of this, also abandons O'Connell. That's Brendan Fraser's character's name.
Yes.
O'Connell. Man, I do want. I want to talk a little. I want to talk about Benny a lot. I'll put this. Benny is a perfect character.
Okay.
As far as like his motivations, his writing, his acting, he is the perfect sniveling weasel.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Except for the acting part.
No.
This guy, Kevin J. O'Connor.
Yeah. Kills it.
Is awful.
You're awful.
I cannot stand this guy.
You cannot stand. Okay.
Ugh.
Or at least you won't by the time you're out of the figure
His
four I'm about to put you in.
His accent is so terrible.
Your accent is terrible.
My accent is American.
I speak American basic.
He's I will give you I like the character as how it's portrayed in the script.
Right.
But this guy, no. Anything I've ever seen him in, he is the worst part of the movie. And it's just the actor. And no. He sucks.
Well, I honestly don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else. So I can't.
If you watch anything Stephen Summers has done,
Yeah.
he is in everything Stephen Summers has done.
Oh, really?
Pretty much.
What about Mummy Returns?
No, because Benny's dead.
Spoilers.
Oh my God, so sorry.
Well, we're running out of Stephen Summers movies I've actually seen. No.
Terrible.
But Benny, as the sniveling weasel, I mean, you call him a bad guy. Like, he's one of the bad guys in the movie. He's not the main antagonist, but like, he's the henchman. He's
the worst.
He is the perfect sniveling weasel henchman.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing that doesn't work.
The accent.
Shut up.
The teeth.
Shut up.
The little hat.
It's a fez.
Yeah.
And actually, the fez makes you want to punch him in the face more, meaning the fez works. Everything about him makes you want to just throttle him. But what doesn't work is like in the beginning, it's like you just got promoted. It's like, oh, Benny and O'Connell are friends. And then Benny betrays him and locks him out of the safety of the ruin or whatever. But I'm like, even prior to that, how are Benny and O'Connell friends? How is anyone friends with Benny?
That's a good question.
If he were on a pirate ship, he would be the peg boy, right? Maybe that's why that's the thing. He just has to gravitate towards someone who he views as strong and then just leech off of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he's doing to O'Connell. And then, his need for self-preservation kicks in and he betrays. But Benny is a perfect sniveling weasel henchman character.
Yeah.
Anywho, O'Connell escapes into the desert where he realizes he's being watched. There's a group of mounted warriors clad in black watching him. And someone's like, should we kill him? They were like, nah, the desert will take him. It's fine.
The Magi.
The Magi.
The Magi.
Yeah.
They don't do shit.
No, they're real bad at their jobs.
I was thinking that too. Like, man, we've done a few movies where people are bad at their jobs.
Yeah.
These probably take the award for worst at job.
And if you want to, let's stretch it. Can I stretch it?
Let's stretch it.
Okay.
What are we stretching?
Foreskin. So they are the Magi. Their goal is to protect Hamunaptra, the Book of Life, the Book of Death, and keep Imhotep entombed, right? One could say that they are enforcing the ancient laws. They are keeping the prisoner in his cell. They are a type of some sort of law enforcement. And guess what? They're horrible at it. Which goes into a ticket price truth. We need to come up with the ticket price Bible, which is just all of the indisputable truths of movie making that we have discovered.
Three writer curse, and Hollywood cops are bad at their jobs. Honestly, I never thought of it as them being law enforcement, but
if we stretch it a little bit,
you're not wrong. That honestly,
they're prison guards.
That makes it way better. That makes it way better.
They're prison guards, right? Should we stop these guys? Nah, it's fine. We're just gonna watch.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
The main guy, what's his name?
I don't know.
Odin Fair.
Yeah, that sounds right. They look good.
God damn, is he like the best looking human on the face of the planet?
Very handsome.
Holy shit.
Are you having some sort of experience?
Yes.
Are you awakening?
I don't know. I'm moist.
I'm tingly. My foreskin is stretching.
But apparently, these characters were originally supposed to be tattooed from head to toe.
Sure.
But Stephen Summers took one look at this guy and was like, absolutely not. We are not covering that up.
No.
And he's 100% right. Like, even with the tattoos that he does have, that makes him look
better.
But
see, I'm glad they didn't do full like Guinness,
illustrated man
or the Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
Full tattoo, because that would be distracting and look awful. But these are like tasteful, because you can tell like the tattoos or markings they do have, you know, just through association, they're gonna be symbolic, ritualistic, they're important in some maybe ancient protection runes, whatever.
Yeah.
It works, but it's not distracting. It enhances.
It's almost like a badge.
It's like LL Cool J when he wore that Band-Aid under his eye.
No.
It just made him so much cooler.
That was not a thing.
But no, there are certain details you got to be careful with, because it's like, okay, if we do this right, it will enhance. But if you go over the edge and you go a little too far, it's distracting.
Yeah, and then you don't get that instant recognizable symbol of, oh, I know exactly what these characters are.
Yeah. But again, we were talking about how great the characters in the beginning looked. How great did the Magi look?
Oh yeah, they look
How
cool.
great does Benny? Again, he's this little weasel with his stupid little fez, and you want to punch him in the face. Brendan Fraser, O'Connell looks great. He looks action hero-y, but not distractingly so.
Oh, he's got a great look. Yeah.
Man, I forgot how put together Fraser was, like, in his day.
He was a handsome looking dude too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking like George of the Jungle, like Encino Man, like
fit.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he was put together.
Yeah.
Like he abs for days. So O'Connell escapes. Then we cut back to modern day Thebes. Or I guess Alexandria, excuse me. They're in Alexandria. Speaking of bad at her job,
Oh, Evie
Evie,
trying to put away books.
Evelyn, is working at her job at the Alexandria Historical Library. She's putting away books and doing it really pretentiously. Like she's reading the authors and titles out loud in a pretentious fashion. I'm just like, oh God, I don't know if I like you. And then she's in the S's, and then she has a T. She's like, Tutmos, how did you get here, Tutmos? You're supposed to be over there. And I'm like, they're books, not people. They're not going to talk to you, but that's part of her charm. Like she's the wallflower bookworm.
Yeah.
So instead of getting off the ladder, moving the ladder, going back up the ladder to put the book away, she does what this is very relatable.
Oh yeah.
She does the lean back. She's holding onto the ladder while leaning back to put the book away and ends up popping the ladder. So it's not leaning anymore. It's perfectly vertical. And she kind of gets control of it. It's like, help. Help.
I like this scene, but I don't like this scene. It's funny, especially when the ladder goes back down and hits the shelf, and then you have the whole domino effect.
And then all the bookshelves are arranged just so that they domino fall around the library.
I wish her clumsiness like that would have came back to play later.
At any point in time.
At any point in time. It's like they had this idea for a funny thing, but didn't think of how to bookend it.
Well, okay. I don't disagree with you, but if I may be devil's advocate,
Absolutely.
depends on how you want to look at it. Was it clumsiness, or was it an accident that was going to happen to literally anyone if they did what she did? She acted without thinking. It's not a clumsiness issue. It's a not thinking about what she's doing enough to not do the obviously bad idea. And if you look at it like that,
Okay.
it does come back because she kind of causes everything to happen in the movie to happen without thinking about the repercussions it could have.
You know what? Okay. Now that you put it that way, I wish we would have gotten a moment of the visual clumsiness of it.
Yeah, but then it would have been, typical teen movie of the beautiful woman trips.
Well, they do it on the boat, but it's Jonathan, her brother. He kind of does it.
But he's a drunk.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But I don't know. It felt out of place.
Sure.
But no, now that you put it that way, I can look past it.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just
I like that. I like that idea because she does causes all this to happen.
Her exuberance gets in the way of her judgment.
Yes, it does.
So her boss comes. He freaks out because his library is destroyed. I don't care what you have to do. I do not care how long it takes. Clean up this mess.
Imagine being the set designer and that happens. And they're like, oh,
reset.
We forgot to put the camera on. Got to do it again.
Whose Starbucks cup is that? Reset.
Yeah.
Still couldn't have been as bad as Ghostbusters
How long would that have taken?
with the cards.
Oh, yeah. No shit. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Give me flies. Give me locusts. Actually, I liked the, and I recognize him from a bunch of stuff from this time period. I can't think of the actor's name, but I actually like the guy playing the curator.
Yeah. He was in, I know he was in Daredevil.
With Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Gross.
Yes. Eric Avery is his name.
I like him.
Yeah, I do too. Every time I've ever seen him in anything, I was like, oh, that guy.
So Evelyn is trying to put things back together, where she notices some movement, goes to check it out, and gets a jump scare because she approaches an open sarcophagus where the corpse jumps out at her. And as she's screaming, there's just uproarious laughter as her brother sits up also in the sarcophagus. And I'm like, Jonathan, the worthless brother.
Yeah, I don't like this character. He doesn't really do anything except be annoying.
He's the member of the group that bad things happen to, and then we enjoy that bad things happen to him. We want him to trip and fall. We want the camel to spit at him. We want the scarab to burrow into his brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Are you dying?
Yes. I'm choking. Edit that out, please. Well, I can tell when it starts affecting my voice. So, but no, he is the bumbling brother. He's a drunkard. He's half a moron. So we learn that Evelyn and Jonathan come from affluent parents. They were wealthy. They were respected. They were leaders in their field. And Evelyn took on the hardworking aspect of that. And Jonathan took on the socialite aspect of that.
Yes, he did. A little too much.
And the thing is, you get little glimpses. Like if Jonathan had ever just like knuckled down and applied himself at anything, he'd be halfway decent.
Yeah, I could see that.
But he didn't.
Nope. Just drinking and stealing.
So while drinking and stealing, he steals an artifact. And he takes it to Evelyn. He's like, please let this be something, Evie. I've never actually found anything before. And I'm like, yeah, because you suck. But he finds this little device. And they actually manage to open it. And there's a map inside. And it's a map to Hamunaptra. They take it to the curator, explaining that, we need to fund an expedition and a dig. We need to make this happen. Let's do it. And while looking at the map, the curator burns the map accidentally. Oh, and the candle he was looking at it with accidentally burned out where Hamunaptra was. Damn the luck.
He sells it poorly, but also so accurately.
No.
You don't quite know if he did it on purpose, but you kind of know that he did it on purpose.
You think he did, but there's just enough uncertainty that you're like, maybe it was an accident. But I don't think it was. Map's burned. But undeterred, they learn that they believe Hamunaptra is real, based on this map. So they go to find someone who claims to have been there. And they learn of a prisoner who's set to be executed today. A vulgar American type.
Is there any other type?
No. We're Americans. Damn it. Listen, cock breath.
Damn, that was hurtful.
It was also vulgar. But they get a brief audience with Brendan Fraser, who's like, yeah, I've been there. You want me to take you there? Get me out of here, because I'm about to be executed. What did they say? Like, why was he arrested? Well, he came into Alexandria from the desert to have a good time. Oh, well, why? He's being put to death today, so he obviously must have had a great time.
Yeah, he had a very good time.
He had a very good time. Who is that comedian?
His Omid Djali?
Yeah. So he's an Arab comedian who also, because he can act and his heritage, gets a lot of roles like this in that time period.
He's Iranian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to sell me a couple of queer giraffes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's really good. But the only two movies I can think of off the top of my head that I've seen him in is Gladiator and this.
Mummy. Yeah.
But I know there's been more.
You know what, though? If those are his only filmography credits, he still has a better filmography than most.
Oh, absolutely. No, he's been in a lot of TV shows, video
Yeah.
games, does a lot of voice work for video games.
Oh, I could. You know what? Now that you say that, I could see that.
Yeah.
But then we get to so Brendan Fraser.
Oh, he was in Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Oh,
Trash.
Brendan Fraser steals a kiss from Evelyn. And she's very taken back because she's obviously never been kissed before. Obviously.
Oh, yeah, you could tell later on the boat where she's just almost melting when she's thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Her feet puddled. And she just wouldn't, and she keeps brain. She's like, "Why did that brute kiss me so?" And then she gives a longing look, and I'm like, "This bitch has never been kissed by an inmate before."
It's a little ridiculous.
Who raise your hand if you've never been kissed by an inmate before? I mean, come on.
I don't see any hands going up.
Relax, Evelyn. It's not a big deal. So then we get
swear every damn day.
That's right. So then we get to the execution scene. Good, his neck did not break. Now we watch him strangle. Which apparently he was actually strangling.
That was actually the line that Stephen Summers said.
Good, his neck did not break. Now we'll watch him choke. But a deal is struck to buy O'Connell's freedom, and that the warden will go with them on their trip and gets whatever percentage, 25% of the riches found. So they cut O'Connell down, and the trek is on.
The boat scene.
So yes, they get to a chartered boat that's going to take them as far as it can downriver to the appointed place. And on this boat, we learn that there's a second expedition that's much larger and better funded, full of Americans, and being led by the guide, Benny, the only other survivor from the Hymenoptera attack from the French Foreign Legion side.
Yeah, so you have, what, four of the main expedition on the other side, rather. You have Four Eyes, the cowboy.
They're all cowboys.
The academic. And who's the
Comb over.
The forehead guy. Yeah, Peyton Manning. That guy's forehead is so damn big.
Call that thing a 5-head. Damn.
But yeah, they're all American. They're all cowboys. They shoot everything that moves.
Although I like this too, because then like they're being Americans, and then so you've got those three, because the academic isn't American.
No.
Even though he definitely played by an American.
Absolutely.
Also the dad / hunter from Jumanji. But never mind that. Separate movie. And then you got O'Connell. But other than those four, they're like the only Americans. Everyone else is either Egyptian or British. And so then, one of these snooty, hoity-toity British people would be like, Americans, and then turn and be like, oh, no offense. It's like, none taken. Americans and their guns, no offense. And then Brendan Fraser cleaning a gun. He's like, none taken. And it's actually, this worked for me because it wasn't over the top, but it was definitely accurate.
Oh yeah, I like the boat scene a lot. The whole from beginning to end. I think it's a great set piece.
So help me remember. Um, was Benny on the boat when it was attacked,
Mhm.
or had
Yeah.
he been escorted off
Oh,
prior? I think he's on the boat, but I'm talking during the attack. I believe he had been escorted off the boat just prior.
I think you're right.
So they're on the boat. Our main group learns of the other expedition, but they don't know who the guide is. Then O'Connell learns who the guide is, and it's Benny. And he's like, "Hey, Benny, haven't seen you since you left me for dead." O'Connell, it's so nice to see you. He's like, "Yeah, this was nice catching up. Goodbye, Benny." And then throws Benny overboard. And I was like, did O'Connell just make an attempt on Benny's life?
Yes.
I want to pause to just take a moment to make sure I properly word and express my appreciation for a protagonist actually attempting to take the life of someone who needs to have their life taken.
Oh yeah, this made me like O'Connell 10 times more.
We're just like, nope, you little weasel, and just throws him off the boat.
Yeah, doesn't let him get a chance to say anything. Just, I do like the line though, or O'Connell says something to him, and Benny's like, "Think of my children." It's like, you don't have any kids. In the future, I might, or something to that effect.
Well, in the immortal words of Deadpool and Deadpool and Wolverine, well, I'm hoping to. I'm just not having much in the way of vaginal sex at the moment. Benny's never seen a vagina.
No, no, no.
No woman is looking at Benny or smelling Benny or hearing Benny's voice and going, sure.
Not without being paid.
You know what? Benny pays for Strange.
Yes, he does.
Benny would have multiple subscriptions on OnlyFans. Benny gets thrown overboard, but the Magi attack the boat because two expeditions heading to Hamunaptra, that's bad, and they know that somewhere on this boat is the key, the little piece, the artifact that Jonathan found earlier.
Again, the Magi are bad at their job.
Yes.
They had one job and fucked it up.
Well, question. Speaking of how bad they are at their jobs, right? Jonathan either won that, I can't remember, he either stole it during a poker game or won it during a poker game, the artifact.
Yes.
How did the person who he stole it from get it?
Didn't he steal it from O'Connell?
O'Connell never had the artifact.
Oh, I thought he stole it from O'Connell in a game.
No, I'm talking about, like, remember Jonathan? He scares Evelyn with the corpse.
Yeah.
In the beginning, he's like, I found this. Actually, I won it in a poker, or what? How when he originally gets it, right?
Right.
He got it from somebody. How did that person get it?
Honestly, probably the Magi probably gave it to him.
Because that is the only way to open the Book of the Dead. That is the only way to also open Imhotep's sarcophagus. That is the only way any of this shit goes down. How did that guy get it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that one of the Magi gave it to him because they are bad at their job.
You would think that this would be one of those pieces that the Magi, our very handsome friend, just has on him.
Yeah, like
at all times.
Like a necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the time stone.
He just does a goofy hand motion and it appears and disappears.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Magi are just really bad at their jobs.
Yeah, and the bad thing is we're not done talking about how bad they are at their job.
So they attack the boat, And it's not like an assassin sneaks on the boat to like infiltrate, get the item, kill whoever he has to kill to it, like 007's it. No, it's a full-scale battle. There's guns and swords, and someone catches on fire at one point. This guy has a hook for a hand for some ominous reason. And he's just like, I'm evil.
This still kills me every time I watch it when they're rowing up to the boat on their little canoes, and that guy attaches that hook
Yeah.
to his hand, and he like holds it up for the camera to see. I'm like, my God, can you be more obvious? Like, it just looks terrible.
And you're like, that's a bad guy. Actually, there's a lot of things I enjoy in this. At one point, O'Connell saves Evelyn. He's got to reload his guns, and he's sitting there, and then you see the bullet holes hitting the wall near his head, and with each subsequent shot, they just start getting a little closer and a little closer to the point that Evelyn sees it and is like, oh God, and like pulls him out of the way before O'Connell's just headshot. Roll credits.
Yeah.
Or then they're escaping, and the cowboys from the other expedition have like built up a little barrier, and they're just full, it's Old ridiculous. West shootout. They're just like, yeah, baby, get some boys, baby. And that's what, was it Jonathan? He's just Jonathan. Like, Americans.
Yeah. I like this whole scene. It's fun.
But then Jonathan's attacked by the flame on fire hook guy. One of the cowboys turns around and Doc Holliday fans the hammer and blows him away. And I just went, yeah, Americans.
It's so ridiculous and over the top, and it's fun as hell.
That's the thing. It's the funny kind.
Yes.
It's not like people were exploding. It wasn't like Expendables over the top.
Oh no, yeah, that's way too much.
When do we make Sarah watch the Expendables?
That's going to be on the list for the next.
Yes, it is.
The next Sarah and Sly.
So they escape from the boat. By escape, I mean everyone's either thrown or jumps off the boat because it's very on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think the fire has taken over almost the entire boat at this point.
So, and this is actually one of the quotes my wife and I will throw at each other.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Periodically, not super often, but periodically. Kind of like a Joe Dirt quote, not as frequently as it used to be, but it still pops up on occasion. So Benny and his expedition are on one bank. O'Connell and his expedition are on the opposite bank. And Benny, because just to show that little bastard is somehow still alive. Hey, O'Connell, it looks like we've got all the horses. Meh, meh, meh. And then O'Connell turns and goes, hey, Benny, looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river.
So good. So good.
I don't know why these childish snipes back and forth really make me laugh.
I still loved it after during this rewatch.
And I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
and I was that almost made it better. So, having lost everything, they buy some camels and are heading to Hamunaptra, where they once again bump into the other. Also, Evelyn buys a sexy outfit, not like over the top sexy or like, lingerie sexy, but she's in a very nice looking.
Oh, yeah.
Egyptian garb.
She looks fabulous. And O'Connell notices.
Well, okay. Feel like we got to talk about it. This is not a teen romance movie, but they do this thing where, the main lady, the main girl, she's got thick glasses and her hair's always pulled up or pulled back in a ponytail, and she's always wearing like, frumpy, comfy clothes. And you're like, oh, this unattractive, as if we can't see it's Rachel Weisz, who is very attractive.
Yes, she is.
And now her hair's down and her glasses are off and she's wearing, attractive clothing. And it's like, oh, all of a sudden, how did we not see this beautiful woman is obviously beautiful? My God.
Yeah, I noticed it when she was standing on the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed it looking at her ankles, and I was like, those are some good looking ankles. And then we went up, and I just went, yes, ma'am.
But yeah, no, I never thought of it as that teen movie trope,
Is it not,
but
though?
it is kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and then like O'Connell, the school quarterback, the star quarterback, notices, air quote, notices her for the first time because she doesn't look frumpy.
Yeah, and he just can't get enough.
And I'm just going, what is this bullshit here?
Yeah.
Again.
Thanks for ruining that for me.
You're welcome.
Dick.
Can we just all stop pretending like Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz and the Magi guy aren't just incredible, and Emotep aren't incredibly attractive people?
Yeah.
You know who's not incredibly attractive?
Benny.
Jonathan. No, Benny is a whole other just realm of trash people, some sort of Morlock, subterranean sewer dweller. He's basically the Rat King from the Ninja Turtles. There's a deep reference for my turtle fans.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Like, Jonathan is average. Anaksunamun, average. Pharaoh, Peter Boyle. But our core 4 characters are incredibly attractive. And most of them are dudes. And 3 of the 4 are men. And it confuses me.
No.
It makes me confused about my feelings.
I know. I'm looking at Rachel Weisz going, oh, yeah. Brendan Fraser. Oh, yeah. And the Emotep. Oh, yeah. And then the Magi. I'm like, oh.
How are they all so incredibly beautiful, acting like they aren't all incredibly beautiful? And how is Rachel Weisz possibly the least beautiful?
Oh, my.
I feel like I just got to talk a few things out, but I don't know if now's the time or place. I'm just saying. So then we get the horse race to Hamunaptra. They make it to Hamunaptra, and they're waiting for the sunrise to actually reveal the city itself. The city's revealed, and then we get a fun horse race. And you know what? I'm actually pretty cool with this, and I want to explain why. What did you think of this horse race, camel race sequence?
Okay. For one, this movie's long.
It is a little long.
There are a few things that they could have cut.
Yes.
This could have been one of them, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. And I got to see Benny fucking eat it, so it made it even better.
I think it could have been shortened, but I wouldn't have cut it.
No, yeah, shortened. It could have been shortened.
Because this is an action sequence that isn't guns and death and violence. It's an action sequence in the sense that it's a horse race.
Yeah.
That's an action sequence. But it's like everyone involved is having a good time. It's the fun kind of action where it's like high energy and the music is going, but it's not like heavy music or over the top. It's just fun, action-y. And I feel like a lot of action movies fail to include moments like this because it's an adventure. Well, what sells you on the adventure? The danger, the romance, the fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people forget the fun. This is fun.
I agree.
Where we see in the lead is Benny and O'Connell, and Benny just starts whipping him with the riding crop. And because they're like, you're racing and you know Benny's going to do something. And he just starts whipping him with the riding crop. That's funny.
Yeah.
And then they get close enough for O'Connell to grab him by the collar and dump his ass off the horse. That's fun.
Yeah, it's funny. It adds another layer to Benny of why you just hate this guy. And it honestly, it adds another layer to O'Connell when he grabs him and throws him off the horse. I'm like, yeah.
It also adds to Evelyn. Because we see her, she takes to the camels well. She's excited about being a field researcher, like she's always wanted to do, but has never done it, like her parents did. She doesn't shy away. She gets scared, and she doesn't know how to handle when the guy is on fire trying to attack her, right? Because why would she know how to handle that? But then like, oh, we have to get camels. She doesn't complain.
No.
She doesn't whine about it. She's like, let's do it. That's part of the adventure. It's part of why we're here. And she gets on the camel. And then she kind of borderline Disney princess, like the camel likes her. She likes the camel. She's petting the camel's head. It responds to her calls, unlike Jonathan, who's bitching and moaning the whole time, as Jonathan would, because that guy sucks. And his camel half-ass fights back most of the time. And that's funny because it builds to the character. But during the race, we then see her participating in the race. She wants to help her team be the first to Hamunaptra. So tut tut tut, and it's going faster, and she's keeping up with it. And O'Connell sees her, and they lock eyes, and they have another moment. And then she tuts a little too hard, and the camel finds another gear, and she's like, "Oh!" And it starts going even faster. But again, we see her shocked and surprised and struggling to hold on, but she's still going with it. It's still fun, and we're seeing her grow and roll with these experiences, and that makes me like her more as a character too, where it's like, oh no, she actually is like, she's not just a downer all the time, or she's not like this goody two shoes, we can't do this, we shouldn't do that. Like, she's rolling with the fun and participating.
Yeah, it would have been real easy to turn her into Willie from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where she's just this spoiled rich girl who doesn't like being outside and whines all the time. And I like Evan a lot in this movie.
You like Evan a lot in this movie?
I like Evelyn. And apparently with the three handsome dudes, I like Evan too. But
I have to see Evan. Maybe I do like Evan. I'm very confused.
Evan probably walks out and he looks like the Magi guy.
That's like how you say Magi.
The Magi guy.
Magi guys. When this show fails, our next show, the Magi guys. They
like the Fry Guys from McDonald's back in the day.
Man, I haven't thought of that.
Those?
And vaguely, yeah.
Grimace. I wonder why they got rid of Grimace. Probably about the same time they got the supersize meals came into existence.
Grimace kind of looks like what I imagine a walking, talking pancreatic cancer tumor looks like.
Well, he looks like somebody who eats McDonald's all the time.
That's true.
So that's why they're like, we got to get rid of this guy.
We got to get rid of the huge, fat, purple gumdrop guy.
Yeah, get rid of him. Okay, introduce supersize meals. Great. We got it. Anyway.
Look, we could talk about old debunked fast food characters all day, but work must intrude.
Was it the Zoid?
Intervene.
The Domino's? Was it the Zoid?
Oh my God, I forgot about the Zoid. Was that Pizza Hut?
I think it was Domino's.
It might have been Domino's. I can't remember.
Look that up.
I just remember watching the old Ninja Turtles movie VHS, and there was that pizza commercial about the little boy playing baseball out in the field, and he never pays attention, and then he catches the big hit and inadvertently wins the game, and the team celebrates by getting like Pizza Hut, I think.
It was the Noid, not the Zoid. The Noid.
Close enough. Cinnamon Toast Crunch had that like little gremlin monster thing where it was like a giant fuzzball with.
Oh, I forgot about that too.
It came with a computer game where you could like grow your own and go on adventures. Work must intrude.
Okay, where are we at? Are we at
Hamburglar?
We're.
So, damn it. Okay, they make it to Hamunaptra. We finally are there.
A little chihuahua from Taco Bell.
Yeah, but I think that one had racial connotations.
A little bit.
That one had some racial issues. So they're digging. And do they find the book at this point?
Yes.
So the opposing expedition they're digging around in their area. They come across what looks like a hidden wall. and they start to open it, and the academic, as you call him, was like, wait. We have diggers. Let's let them do it. And they're like, sure. So they get out of the way, and they let the pawns go first. Very Magneto-esque. In chess, the pawns go first.
Yeah, let's put the people that aren't getting paid.
They're getting paid.
Yeah, in acid sand.
And they are then sprayed in the face by pressurized salt acid.
Terrifying.
I don't believe they made it.
Probably not. That makes me not want to open anything.
Speaking of people not making it, our warden friend, he finds some jewels in the wall, begins prying them out and putting them in his little duffel bag. Oh, wait. Those definitely aren't jewels, but like scarab beetle husks
Yeah,
that definitely have the beetle still inside.
this effect with the bug crawling under his skin looks so terrible.
It's not great. And the thing is, I remember it always looking
No,
okay.
I agree.
Let me word it this way. This effect hasn't aged a day.
Because it's always looked like shit.
Hasn't aged a day.
So,
But the beetle, hold on. The beetle wakes up, burrows into his foot, gets under his skin, and then begins traveling and eating his way up his body, eventually into his brain. And feeling the beetle eat his brain, he's running and screaming and goes headfirst into a wall, either knocking himself out and the scarab finishes eating his brain and he dies, or the blow kills him and the scarab just kind of eats.
okay. Stephen Summers.
Yes.
I feel like
I actually tried to kill that guy.
yeah, exactly. I feel like he's not a good director. That was it. That was period.
Okay.
No, I feel like he tried. How do I want to word this?
I don't know.
Like, okay, so he's like a film student where he creates something and he wants everybody to see exactly what he created.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in hiding anything, suggesting anything. He wants you to see it. I found a quote or a thing from Industrial Light and Magic. Apparently, they jokingly created the Stephen Summers scale to measure the extent of digital effects used in any given movie scene.
Yeah.
They have 4 parts of the scale.
Okay.
From lowest to highest. The first one is what the shot needs.
Mm-hmm.
Second, what the computers can handle.
Okay.
The third, oh my God, the computers are about to crash.
Okay.
And 4, what Steven wants. And I feel like throughout this movie, he is just, we have this thing where the bug is crawling inside him and it goes into his brain and it crunches. We need to show all of it. You can't imply anything.
No. The actor has to rip his shirt open so then we can digitally add the Bugs Bunny tunnel mound in his skin.
And it pops up. This isn't Albuquerque.
Huh.
I knew I should have took a left at Walla Walla, Washington.
Would you not describe
that is exactly
it's the Bugs Bunny tunnel mound?
It's exactly what it is. And it looks ridiculous.
But again, the shot hasn't aged a day.
It's ridiculously terrible.
What Steven wants.
But you know what isn't ridiculously terrible? Is when the actor is running down the hallway, grabbing his head, and he takes that head first smash into the wall.
That looks brutal as hell.
Holy shit. Even back originally when I watched it, I was like, God damn, did they actually tell this guy to run head first into a wall and die?
He ran head first. The actor definitely ran headfirst into something on camera. He hits.
He hits something. Yeah. I don't know if there was a cable that pulls him back.
No.
Oh, I don't think so.
Because he then hits and then takes a back fall.
Yeah. It's impressive.
He just does it.
It's impressive.
Like, I'm like, he had to have ran into like those high school gym mats.
It definitely makes up for the shitty Bugs Bunny mound.
Well, you see, apparently Stephen Summers does two things. Pushing special effects too far to the point that they look ridiculous, or making a shot look so brutal that it actually kills actors.
Yes, shit.
It's like, no, Steven, they're acting. You don't understand. This is a simulation of events, not actual events. No one wants to see Brendan Fraser actually die.
Did Mr. Tajali, did he die during the filming of this movie? No. Okay, he's still alive.
Well, no, Gladiator came out in 2000,
That's
right?
true. Yeah. Okay.
So he had to get his testicles grabbed
That's true.
a year later.
That's the only thing that kept him alive.
He's like, must be in Gladiator. And you know what? I don't blame him for that.
I do not either.
He could, for the rest of his life, be like, man, I was in Gladiator. I had lines in Gladiator. And yeah, you can brag about that. I had lines in Jurassic World. Right? I had lines in Napoleon. I had lines in Gladiator. Yeah, you did. Man, Napoleon sucks. That movie was such a bummer.
I haven't watched it yet.
Don't. As a friend, I'm telling you, don't. I watched it in theaters and I was pissed. Anywho, now they have uncovered the Book of the Dead. They being the opposing expedition.
Expedition dump. That was what we got at the beginning of this film.
Yes.
From the Magi guy.
Well, the Magi attack again. This is now their second full-on attack.
This is so... Okay.
Yes. Now the Magi are attacking the camp.
This irritated the fuck out of me.
Yes.
So they're attacking the camp.
Go on.
They do nothing. They hit nothing. They kill no one.
They die.
They injure no one. They die. Yes. Then O'Connell lights a stick of dynamite and everybody stops. And then our Magi guy is like, this is your warning. Leave or you'll die.
You have 24 hours.
Like, how are you going to kill him? You haven't done shit throughout the entire attack. Both attacks. You haven't winged a single person. You all suck. So then he gives him a 24-hour notice. Like, what? Are you being evicted? No.
The landlord's kicking me out.
And then, so what do our heroes do?
Actually, I bet money Jonathan and Benny have been evicted before.
Oh, yeah. But then, so our heroes have just been attacked by this group of stormtroopers, is all I can call them, because they can't aim for shit. And then what do our heroes decide to do? They all get drunk?
Yeah.
And just party?
Well, they survived an attack.
It wasn't that hard. Like, I don't... The Magi
are bad at their job. Now, actually, so the fight, yeah, the Magi suck. They're not good at anything. Then they give an arbitrary 24-hour thing to which our heroes, and not even our heroes, everyone from both expositions,
just ignore.
Here's the thing. I think they realized what you realized. Then they went, all right, what are our casualties? 0. No one's even wounded. Oh, then fuck those guys. Yeah. We're going to just do our thing.
It makes them look weak.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I did like the end of the fight where the O'Connell and his team are getting surrounded. Last ditch effort. It was very Clint Eastwood, spaghetti western style. Like he just lights dynamite and is like, "I'll blow everybody up, motherfuckers." And then when they're like, "All right, 24 hours, leave or die," then they leave and he's like, "Oh, good." He just pulls the fuse out.
Yeah.
He's like, "Boom, threat neutralized." I actually thought that was pretty cool. I liked that maneuver. What a maneuver!
Best part of that whole battle.
Well, again, I think we're using the term battle loosely.
Attack. Kerfluffle.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Kerfluffle.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that. So the next day, everyone's still digging and doing things. They Oh no, I'm sorry, they hadn't found the book yet. The Magi just attacked because they were digging too close.
That's right.
Now the opposing expedition finds the book because I have in my notes because they find a crate, right? And the warning on the crate is very long. The academic begins reading the warning about whosoever should open this cursed box is fated to die
He has to turn the box over 4 times to read
because
the
a
whole
mummy
thing.
will awaken and require organs and skin and flesh, and he will assimilate the pieces he needs from the specific people involved in the opening of this box because it is very cursed, as we will continue to explain important exposition plot points to you because you as the audience member are too stupid to figure it out through the context of the actions. So we will now read it to you very poorly.
I don't think it said all of that.
No, I'm almost positive. Eventually, our heroes will need the assistance of a drunk pilot.
Winston.
Like, it goes through the whole last 2/3 of this movie. My God. I think at one point they read the copyright anti-piracy warning from the actual movie. This is protected under United States copyright 25790-R. You know, piracy is not a victimless crime, and you wouldn't steal a purse. And the other guy was like, yeah, I would.
They brought Tim Curry in to recite the entire thing,
Yeah.
the entire ending of the movie.
And then Tim Curry runs in. It's like, then we go over here where the Magi attacked. This warning is so long.
Yeah, and every single person in that room except Benny is like, fuck it.
Well, all the diggers, they run.
Oh, yeah,
They're
they
out.
ran right away.
Then Benny's like, it's a curse. And he freaks out and runs. And then the 3 Americans and the academic are like idiots. And all 4 of them open the box. At this time, our expedition finds a sarcophagus under a statue of Anubis. And they open it using the key Jonathan has. It opens, and the skeleton kind of like pops out like, "Wah!" And they're like, oh God, it's still. Also, Evelyn hits him. God, I hate it when these things do that. How often do the corpses do that?
And how many expeditions has she been on?
None.
Yeah.
How often are bodies jumping out at her?
Well, I guess one earlier
They're
with
coming
Jonathan.
to get you, Evelyn.
But yeah, I like when they're like, why is he still juicy?
I was watching a gum commercial. Juicy.
I like the look of the mummy at this moment.
But why is he still juicy?
Because he's still decomposing.
It's been 3,000 years.
It's the curse. Still makes him moist. I don't know. I don't know how the curse works. You don't know how the Matrix works. I don't know how the curse works.
You know, I knew a few girls back in my day who curses made them moist too.
When you curse, it makes them moist.
No, they were an odd group.
Apparently.
Just saying.
Moving on.
Okay. If you're in a bit of a dry spell, right?
They're not.
Hear me out. Nursing students.
Okay.
Fine arts students. Wiccans.
Teachers.
If you're of a certain age.
Good to know.
Let me put it this way. If my wife ever left me, I would not have to go to the bar to find women. I would go to the PTO meetings. PTA meetings? I don't go to those things. I don't know what they're called.
I don't know either. I don't know what they are anymore.
Parent Teacher PTA.
Parent Teacher
Association.
Yeah.
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 Just go to the PTA meeting.
Okay.
Desperate moms just everywhere. What are we talking about?
Can I tell you a story?
Oh, God.
About a PTA meeting.
Oh, no.
I was a kid.
I don't know if anyone wants to know this.
So growing up in my house when I was younger, my dad would fart and then he would blame me.
Okay.
So I remember we were at this PTA meeting one time. I don't remember how old I was. I was in elementary school because I was in elementary school at the time. But I was sitting in the middle. My dad was on the right. My mom was on the left. And I didn't even think about it. But it was a quiet, we're quiet. The guy's speaking. And I farted so loud. And then I look over at my dad and I hit him. And I'm like, Dad. Everybody turned around and looked at my dad and gave him the dirtiest look. Yeah, we left. I got in so much trouble. My mom literally thought my dad had did it, but we get into the truck and I bust out laughing. My dad was so mad at me.
So mad he had to go home and watch Saving Private Ryan.
I was like, yeah, and I told him, I'm like, well, we do that all the time. You do that all the time to me. And he's like, yeah, at home, not in public, in a quiet auditorium.
So what you're telling me is he's just mad that you did it better.
Exactly. I just one-upped him.
Okay. I got a story for you.
Okay.
This is probably, I bet I was 8th grade. Yes, that's about right. Can't remember what my dad and I were doing, but we were in the truck heading to the grocery store. I think we were trying to get snack food for a movie night. Just some stupid trip, right, to the grocery store. But I was dogging him relentlessly about something. And we're laughing about it. It's all in good humor. But I just won't let up. And we're at the grocery store. We're walking into the door. And I hit him with one more right before the door opens, right? And I'm snickering. And as he and I are walking in, I guess he didn't realize where we were or how loud he was. Again, jokingly, but he's like, if you don't stop, I am going to slap the shit out of you. But all anyone in this grocery store hears is this dad looking down at his son going, if you don't stop, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. Or whatever it is that he said. And everyone just turns and looks horrified. And I'm just looking up at him. And then I just look down at my feet. And he looks around and just kind of takes me by the arm and we hustle off to the bakery or wherever we were headed. And he's just going, oh my God, someone's going to call child services. I was like, shut up, I'm trying to work up a tear. Don't make me laugh.
You're just cowering. Not again. Not again, Daddy.
Not again, Daddy.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Domestic violence is always funny. Domestic violence and farts. Relax, Violent Night. Easy, Joe Dirt.
I did it better.
So, they find the juicy like Tevis's fart. They blamed his poor father. Um, they learn like, he was still alive in the coffin, tried to claw his way out, eaten by scarabs, blah blah blah. But then in the deepest engraving, in the most perfect handwriting, he apparently wrote "Death is only the beginning."
Yeah, how did he see to write that?
How did he get it so deep? It wasn't a scratch. It was carved deep into this stone.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Oh my God, they've buried me alive with nothing except these scarabs and this hammer and chisel. My little candle. Like, it's like, look how deep it's like an inch deep into the stone.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Death is only the beginning. They all get back to camp, and Evelyn sees that they found a book that the academic is trying very hard to open but can't, and she kind of takes a dig at him. I think you need a key to open that. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, because he says earlier, because I think Peyton Manning is the one that says, "Hey, what should we be worried that they're digging over there?" And the academic's like, "They're led by a woman.
Yeah.
What does a woman know?" Yeah, so when she does that line to him, I think you need a key for that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
She just shoots back.
Yep.
Then, while everyone's drunk and passed out, Evelyn steals the book and uses the key and opens it. She begins reading aloud.
Well, I thought, okay, because I thought too, I was like, man, this smart lady does something really stupid for the plot.
Right.
But after rewatching it for this show, I noticed when she says, opens the book and she's like, no harm ever came from reading a book. And I like when she opens it, that wind blows.
Yeah, but they do that effect constantly. Even at one point, somebody even comments that happens a lot around
That's
here.
what, yeah, Rick says, he's like, that happens a lot around here. I like that a lot. I thought that was really funny. But when she opens the book, O'Connell says, okay, so what's it say?
Yeah.
So she has to read it aloud to him.
Yeah, but you don't have to read it like that.
No, but it's nice that I like the fact that he says, what does it say? That prompts her to have to read it out loud.
And this also goes back to she's acting before fully thinking.
True.
But also, she's a pure academic. She does not believe in curses or magic or hocus pocus. So when everyone's like, no, there's a curse, she's like, that's ridiculous.
Yes.
You're being silly and childish. This is just a book. So she's reading it without any fear, except as she reads it, there's a horrifying scream / grizzly bear roar. And then the academic wakes up and immediately, you mustn't read from the book.
Yeah, because when she's reading it, it cuts to the mummy in the sarcophagus that looks nothing like the physical zombie mummy that we saw.
Fine.
It looks terrible.
It looks fine.
But then it comes to life and looks terrible. This movie came out in 1999.
Correct.
How are the effects worse than a 93 dinosaur?
Because the 93 dinosaur was hidden. He didn't want it hidden. He wanted it visible.
He wanted it to be under a spotlight at all times.
Yes.
That is a problem.
It does create some issue.
It makes it look very flat. There's no shadow.
It spoils the illusion.
It does.
Because it's so egregiously fake that it might as well have been a puppet on strings.
I agree. And it kind of takes away from I know this isn't supposed to be a horror movie, but it takes away from the scare factor of it.
Yeah, you still want, in this instance, your big bad is a monster.
Yeah.
You still want the monster to be scary.
Exactly.
Although he does recover some of his scariness as he gets more powerful, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, part of the curse, why the Egyptians never committed this fate to anyone until Imhotep, is they were afraid of what could happen, because the curse is so horrendous that if an individual experiences it and is brought back, they will be more powerful than anything humanity can imagine, and have the power to even bring back the plagues that God brought down during Moses's pleas for the Hebrews to end their slavery, to end their captivity. So the mummy wakes up, and then the groups are immediately beset on by a plague of locusts.
Yes. They look like crap.
Again, there's so many of them, it's basically a liquid simulation, a
Yes.
fluid simulation. Yeah, but then that shows to the academic who's like, what have we done? And they definitely just glued a bunch of locusts to that guy's face.
Oh, I'm sure they just said, hang on. We're just going to cover you with these things.
Yeah.
Nope.
He was bitten many times. So everyone runs inside the tomb to get away from the locusts. Whilst running around, Four Eyes, I think as you put it, the glasses guy gets pushed down and his glasses fall off, to which then Chex notes, Scooby-Doo Velma glasses gag.
That's what I have too. So, oh, good. We have a Velma moment.
Is all you can describe it as. He's on hands and knees. His glasses are a foot away from him as he's patting the ground. Guys, can you help me find my glasses? Hello? I can't see anything. I'm going, Velma?
Yeah, I read an article where Velma actually watched this movie and she's just like, oh, come on.
That's my shtick.
Nobody would do that. I'm kidding. There was no article.
Velma was just pissed.
She went to Twitter.
X.
No,
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Yes. Yeah. When he falls and he does that Velma moment, I'm just like cheesy. I'm like, get LASIK, you fucking loser.
Just get up. Because we see points of view from his perspective. He can see well enough.
Yeah. If I lose my glasses, I can see to go down a hallway.
Wait. Can you see enough to run for your life?
Yes.
Your life literally depends on your ability to move.
Yes.
Can you see well enough to keep moving?
Yes.
Okay.
I might run into a glass door, but I can tell the difference between stone and air.
My God. Basically a superpower that. Benny runs by, and of course, Benny inadvertently steps on his glasses and then doesn't stick around to help him.
Inadvertently?
It may have been on purpose. It's hard to say.
It's like that whole thing. I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
I just have to outrun Velma.
I'm surprised he didn't jump over him, not step on him, and then take 2 steps back and go crunch and then take off.
I'm surprised he didn't run over and just drop an elbow on him to really just lay him flat.
Randy Savage off the top.
Here comes Benny. So the mummy catches up to Velma and assimilates his eyes and tongue.
Mummy looks like crap.
Before our group finds him. I like how the mummy just screams at him, so O'Connell's knee jerk is to shoot him with a shotgun, and I appreciate the hell out of that.
When he goes to find Evelyn and she's getting approached by the mummy.
Yeah,
and the mummy does that growl, and Brendan Fraser's like, and then just growls right back at him. Oh yeah, I like that a lot.
And then just shoots him with a shotgun. He's like, got him. So they escape out of the tomb where the Magi are there. Very angry because how could these idiots let this happen? Except the idiots didn't let it happen. The Magi let it happen.
They're so mad. They're like, what did you do? Like, you gave them so much time to fuck around and find out.
An opportunity.
And now they've fucked around and now they're finding out. And you're mad because you didn't do what you were sworn to do? Huh?
We let people who want to let the prisoner out let the prisoner out. How could they? No, dipshits. It's your job to prevent it from happening. Prevent it from happening.
And question, there is like, what, 15, 20 of the Magi guys?
Okay, let me put it this way. The best way to describe how many Magi there are is the same way as describing how rich or poor the Simpsons are. There's a great joke from the creators of the Simpsons, because like an ongoing joke through a bunch of episodes are the Simpsons are like crazy poor, right? But then there will also be moments like when they go to Krusty Land or Itchy and Scratchy Land or whatever it's called, and Homer just opens his wallet and indiscriminately hands Bart like $2,000 in cash. Right? It's like, well, where did that money come from? And the explanation was the Simpsons are as rich or as poor as the plot and or joke needs them to be. There are as many or as few Magi as the plot needs there to be at any given moment. Because there were dozens who died on the boat attack. Dozens more died / fought in the camp attack.
And there's more here.
Yeah.
But am I mistaken? We don't ever see any other ones after this point other than the hot Magi guy.
Correct, because presumably they all died trying to kill the beast, as they put it. The beast, the mummy.
Yeah, so...
Despite knowing, because they tell O'Connell, because he's like, you guys don't have to worry about that thing. I got it. He's like, no, you fool. Conventional weapons cannot harm the beast. That's actually pretty good.
That was pretty damn good.
If only I looked like him.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, what?
You'd enjoy doing this podcast more. What was that? Yeah, no shit. What was that? Hey. Nom, nom, my entire ass.
I'm looking out for the welfare of your wife.
Yeah, I know. But they're like, no, you fool. Conventional weapons cannot harm the beast. So then what the fuck is your guys' plan? To go in and use your swords to kill the beast? What's the plan here, guys?
Yeah, they never ever say what they are going to do.
Nope, they just walk in and die.
Again, bad at their job.
Bad at job. Everyone meets the mummy. Literally, at this point, we have to see the mummy so much that every individual character who has ever uttered a line meets the mummy. Everyone gets a moment with him. They save Velma, but Benny's on his own and bumps into him, and the mummy's getting ready to kill him. So Benny pulls up his necklace, which is just a bunch of different religious symbols, and begins doing different prayers that aren't working. He tries like Christian, that doesn't work. He tries Buddhist, that doesn't work. He tries Hebrew with the Star of David. To which the mummy goes, oh, the language of the slaves. You can be of use. They can actually converse. And I liked that.
You like the part where he's interchanging?
I like the joke / Benny. He always says some weaselly plan to try to escape. So like that was fun. It's him trying to go through all the different prayers, right, to ward off evil. What a Benny thing to do. Like that worked for me. But then the whole idea that they do stumble across a way to converse, or at least a way for Imhotep to know that this living human, understands him and can be a pawn in his, it works.
Yeah.
So now Benny's a henchman to the mummy. And he even gives a line that I like later in the movie when O'Connell's squared up with him and is like, how? Why? What the fuck are you doing? And Benny says, it's better to be at the right hand of the devil than in his way.
That is a good line.
And I'm like, oh God, that's Benny's life motto.
Yeah.
So now Emotep's awake and he begins hunting, trying to get his power back. Benny's his servant. God, I'm trying to remember the exact scene where this happens because I have a note in it because it actually is really cool. And I think it's against Benny. Benny helps lead Emotep to the other survivors, the other guys that open the chest and are cursed with having their parts assimilated. But I don't know why it has to be them specifically and not just anyone.
That's part of the curse.
Part of the curse.
I don't know about the Matrix. You don't know about the curse.
It's true.
Or vice versa.
It's true. But Benny's like, oh shit, and tries to run, and O'Connell picks up a chair just wings a chair at him.
It's when he's going through the academics room looking for the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just dumping papers out of
ransacking
desks and doing some just dumb shit. And yeah, man, I love that a lot.
The chair throw looks great.
It does.
As Brendan Fraser just whips a chair at Benny's legs. So shit happens.
There's a moment where they have the Americans, all four of them, or all three of them, have their friend.
Yeah.
And they go to the bar and they just leave their blind, mute friend in the room.
He's not mute. He can kind of talk. He just doesn't have a tongue.
But then that's when Benny and Emotep show up.
Yeah.
And Emotep looks awesome in that robe and the metal mask.
Yeah, he does, to hide the fact that he's a walking corpse.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And they're masquerading as like royalty almost.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't this guy be like, wait, why is royalty visiting me?
Yeah, I never understood that either.
Yeah.
But he looks super cool.
But then he's like, well, Emotep thanks you for your hospitality. He also thanks you for your eyes. And he thanks you for your tongue. And I'm going, this is rough. Like, this is some sinister shit. Like, Benny does not have to say any of this.
No, he's gone full evil henchman shit.
And that's when the guy's like, what?
Yeah.
And the mummy kills him and finishes the job. And I have in my notes, so he begins assimilating people. He's also trying to get to Evelyn. And he finds her, and Evelyn's in a locked. She's locked away. She's locked away in a bedroom because O'Connell's like, no, we're leaving. And you're going to be safe and not fight this thing, and locks her in a room. And then orders the other two American idiots to like guard the door, but they get assimilated. They're done.
Well, we don't lose Forehead yet.
Oh, that's right.
We lose the cowboy.
Yeah, the cowboy gets taken.
Which I like this too. Like, you see it in a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see all of it.
Right. But then he senses that Evelyn is in the other room and he's taken by her because she's a very beautiful woman who I guess reminds him of, so he's drawn to her for two primary reasons. One, she woke him up. So Evelyn is part of the curse now. And two, she reminds him of Aksunamun and is going to use her as the sacrifice needed to bring his love back. Except Rachel Weisz, Evelyn doesn't look anything like Aksunamun and is far prettier than an Aksunamun. And maybe Emotep should have just tried to be human and then parade his abs and beautiful face in front of her and just wooed her the old-fashioned way with his gorgeousness.
That's a way to go too.
Instead of bringing back his old mummified woman. But what do I know?
You're telling him just to move on?
Yeah.
Move on. She's dead.
Bro, she's been gone 3,000 years. You're allowed to move on.
She's not going to look like what you think she's going to look like.
She's not going to look like Evelyn. But he knows she's locked in the room. So he turns into sand and goes through the keyhole.
That's cool.
I have this in my note because I want to talk about it for a minute. Imhotep is a better Dracula than fucking Dracula from the last voyage of the Demeter. This is what Dracula should have been.
Yeah.
Sweet outfit with the mask and everything. He has the henchmen to help him get to areas he can't. And he has a boatload of cool powers that he does cool things with.
Yeah. I like the sand thing a lot. He reforms off screen. We as the audience don't get it just shoved down our throats like this is what you need to see. No, we fill in the blanks.
Yeah, we don't see him turn into a pile of sand and then like jump into the keyhole.
Yeah.
We just see the keyhole pouring out with sand and you're going, oh my God, that's him.
Yeah. I love that.
It looked great. If you want to watch The Last Voyage of the Demeter, just watch The Mummy. Wildly different movies, but the monster's done right.
Yeah. Yeah, the monster's way better.
We've been joking about things that work, don't work, whatever. And I'm not talking visually. I'm talking conceptually. This mummy kicks ass, right?
I agree.
Like what he does, how he carries himself, his powers, his motivations, whatever. This mummy kicks ass, right?
With the exception of a lot of times his action is just slowly walk towards victim.
He is a teenage slasher killer.
Yeah. But other than that, like, no, I like this mummy. He is awesome. Yeah, his go-to move is walk slowly and open mouth really wide.
That's true.
And it looks terrible.
You know what, though? If he had been pulling those moves on Evelyn, he might not have had to sacrifice her.
There you go. There you go.
So he's mostly brought back. The plagues continue happen. The water turns to blood. Fire rains from the sky.
We have an Armageddon moment.
A little bit.
It shows the whole like Egypt and fireballs coming down and hitting
I thought
towers.
this looked cool.
I liked it.
And there's one of the meteors coming down specifically that smashes into the side of the pyramid and like bounces off, but you see all the rubble and fire left by. Like that actually looked really good.
Yeah.
And there was something about all these like the raining of fire coming down and like hitting the pyramids, because what an iconic image and architecture that everyone can recognize and associate with at some level. And then it's just being pelted by meteors. You're just like, oh shit. But then the plagues and sores and boils, but Imhotep just mind wipes the town.
Oh yeah.
And they all become zombies, basically. Not actual zombies, but they become his zombie slaves.
Yeah.
I'm like,
storm the museum.
This is cool as shit. We learn the curator is a member of the Magi. And he and Handsome Man team up with the survivors as they're all trying to. They hatch a plan. They've got to get the Book of the Dead back to try to kill the monster. Then they learn later on that the Book of the Dead brings people back to life. You need the Book of Life to kill the monster. It's very much a Greenland, Iceland scenario, apparently.
So, question.
Yes.
Did our man Jonathan?
Yeah.
Did he invent the Shaun of the Dead move where you act like the zombies?
I think he did.
Because it's done in Shaun of the Dead and it's done in The Walking Dead.
Yes. But it was done.
It was done here.
First and best.
Was it done first here?
I don't know, but it's the earliest example of it I can think of.
Me too. Because those are the only 3 times I've ever seen it done.
So the group needs to escape. Jonathan runs outside to get the car and ends up bumping into a bunch of the zombie slaves or whatever. So then they all look at him and they start coming, and then he just like stiffens up and gets real straight. He's like, Imhotep. And then all the other zombies are like, oh, he's cool. He's one of us. So then they all start like shambling together. Emotep. And then like as they go past him, he's like, all right, I'm cool. And he takes off running again. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I really liked that.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So Jonathan.
And a perfect Jonathan move.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, Jonathan invented that move.
I think he did. I think that move is called the Jonathan.
It is
When you
now.
act like a zombie to avoid the zombies, I think that's called, pulling your Jonathan.
I don't think we need to call it that.
100% pulling your Jonathan is what that's called.
I think that's a different name for something else.
No, I don't think it is. Pulling your Jonathan. So in the bar, we meet Winston, who is like a World War I British fighter pilot. But like his whole team died in the war, and he's been left to rot, and he has that survivor's guilt and wishes that he too had died in a blaze of glory instead of, old age just, making him useless. So then they're like, Winston, we need your help. We need your plane. Because basically the slaves and Emotep catch up to the group, take Evelyn, and he's taking her to Hamunaptra. They need a way to get there quicker. They need a plane. So they go to Winston.
Okay, before we get to that.
Yes.
I've given this movie a hard time because of the special effects.
Yes.
For the CGI. When they're in the car, Peyton Manning falls out.
Oh, yeah.
And the mummy comes up to him.
He doesn't fall out. He gets ripped out.
That's true. He gets ripped out by
the people holding onto the car pull him. It looks great.
It does look great. But there's a moment where the mummy walks up to him, and he has his face is still not fully formed, so he still has that decaying mouth. But he smiles at him, and his teeth click together.
Yeah,
as they're going up, and that's the best shot of the zombie or the mummy in the entire movie.
Probably,
I think so.
Except all the shots where he's just full human and shirtless.
Though that we're not counting that because that's not a CGI moment. That's just
that's
just an oh my god moment. That's not CGI. That's
why
OMG.
is it so warm in here?
Jesus, Mr. Foslu, how are you?
Yes,
but no, the attention to detail of those teeth clicking, and I just it's so cool.
That's what Steven wanted.
Best CGI in the whole movie.
Well, visually probably, but they recruit Winston. They're like, well, what does this have to do with His Majesty's Royal Air Force? Nothing, not a damn thing. Is it dangerous? Oh yeah. Will we die? Most likely. Let's do it, lads. I really like Winston.
I did too.
I have one issue with Winston. We meet him at the bar when the water turns to blood and all the shit's going down. And now we're being introduced to this aged, past his prime pilot who wishes he had died in the war, and now they need him for help. I wish we had been introduced to Winston earlier.
Like
instead of we immediately need him, so we meet him.
Well, we meet him at the bar, and then they escape the city through the sewer,
and then they go
to the airfield.
Right. I think that happens too quickly.
Okay.
I think we should have met Winston early, and then it's God, how can we get there quicker? Then we get the drawback. Give your audience time to forget Winston exists. And then be like, oh shit, it's Winston.
Yeah. So like maybe on the boat, like he's going to his airfield or whatever.
Or when they were shopping for clothes in Alexandria.
Yeah.
Or something, anything.
I see that. Yeah, I get that. Okay.
I think
give us a chance to forget that he was there.
Yeah. Or if you just introduce him earlier and then bring him back stumbling through the fountain. Some fool spilled his drink here as he's walking through the fountain. That was funny.
That was funny.
Like, or, bring him back. I don't know. I just would have liked to have seen him earlier, I think. But whatever. What do I know? Actually, I do think I know more than Stephen Summers, but I wouldn't have gotten anyone killed. So they employ Winston. He's got his biplane. He's piloting. O'Connell's got the rear-mounted machine gun. Sexy Magi and Jonathan are strapped to the biplane wings.
Terrible.
I loved this.
So terrible.
Hey, how are you doing? Or are you all right? Do I bloody look all right? Hey, how are you? And the Magi's just laughing. So then we get the money shot of this movie. Emotep summons his powers to form a sandstorm and a solid wall of sand that then within the sand is Emotep's face. This shot looks old. And the sand simulation, like you can rag on how the shot looks. I can't argue that. But this sequence and this power and this moment is cool as hell.
I give you that. I don't like the Benny and Evie traveling in the tornado of sand.
I'm with you there.
I don't like that. But when he conjures up that wall of sand and the face comes into it, yeah.
And then the face eats the plane.
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Yeah, you're right. It looks old, but it's still cool.
If you were to do that, if you were to remake The Mummy, not like Tom Cruise did, but like actually remake The Mummy and did this shot and modernize it so it looked good, conceptually, you don't have to change a thing.
No.
This looks great.
Yeah, I agree.
And the idea, so then the plane's getting torn up by sand. Realizing she has to distract Emotep, Evelyn kisses him. Right. Because that's why she kissed him. The spell ends and the plane crashes.
She's still kissing him.
And she's still kissing him. Although I did write, this is my favorite Benny line. Just like the plane in the mouth. Bastards.
God. Benny.
He's just such a little douche. Bastards. Unfortunately, in the crash, Winston died.
With a smile on his face.
With a smile on it. But again, if we had gotten more of Winston, introduced him early on, revisited, like any time, if there's a sequence in a bar, pub, tavern, Winston should be there. Just even if it's just stumbling in the background.
I agree.
Then when he gets his happy ending of dying in a heroic battle type deal, it would mean more than, oh, we literally just met you, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I can see that.
So yes, Evelyn's taken, Winston Sandwall, bastards. They begin doing the ritual. They find the book of Amun-Ra, or the book of life. Shenanigans ensue. Real big fight scene.
Goes on a little too long, I think.
Mummies everywhere. Dynamite explosions and gun blasts and swords and all kinds of shenanigans. But ultimately, they enact the counter ritual where ghostly chariot comes down and takes Emotep's power and soul, rendering him mortal. To which then Rick just gives him a really lackluster stab to the gut. And I thought that was late.
Yeah, when that chariot comes out.
That was cool.
That was cool. Was that supposed to be the Pharaoh?
Peter Boyle?
Yeah.
It looked like it, didn't it?
I couldn't quite tell.
I'm not sure if it is or isn't.
I would have liked to have had a more noticeable driver.
Well, I'm not the right person to ask because as Saving Private Ryan and Baby Driver have taught us, I'm 0 for life at recognizing people.
Yes, you are. But yeah,
hey, fuck you, man.
But no, you're right. The whole stab in the gut is kind of anticlimactic.
It's a big bombastic fight scene. It's cool. Goes on a little long. Stab to the gut's lame, but then Emotep in his final words utters the threat, "Death is only the beginning." Evelyn's saved. They escape the crumbling tomb. Benny's greed gets the worst of him, and he gets trapped in the tomb as it goes under the sand. But all the gold he had been stealing, conveniently on the camels that O'Connell and company ride away in, as he and Evelyn ride together and make out on the back of that camel. As you definitely know, Rick just is like kissing her, and then when he comes up for air, just eye fucks Jonathan like, I'm doing this to your sister in front of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Blah, 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 blah. Benny is trapped in the treasure vault as the lights are going out, and the horde of scarabs come, and the light goes out, and Benny is eaten alive by scarabs. Was this too harsh of a death for Benny?
No.
Should it have been worse?
Yes. I want to see it.
You want to watch Benny die.
This is the time where Mr. Summers should have shown us in detail.
Excruciating.
I would watch
detail.
a 2-hour movie of Benny getting eaten.
So Benny dies, and Rick and Evelyn ride into the sunset, literally ride into the sunset with bags of gold and each other in their arms, making out in front of her brother. Straight power move, by the way.
Absolutely.
Roll credits. All right. Tevis. Ratings time.
Ratings. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, shoot. I didn't do my math on this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Shut up. Shut up.
At least you got the ratings on this one.
I do have all the ratings
And the
on this
budget.
one. Shut.
I'm like,
I did have the budget. You're right. Shut up. Stop being mean to me. Okay. Where's my pen? Shut up. Shut up. My mother's texting me. Not shut up, Mom. I'm doing math. God. Text your good son. I'm busy. Shut up.
Mom, don't interrupt me when I'm cleaning my room.
Mom, I'm recording my podcast. God. 3 people listen to me, and 2 of them are named Kenneth. Shout out to Kenneth. Love you, man. I don't know who you are, but love you, man. So, IMDb, 7.1.
Okay, that's a number.
Rotten Tomatoes, 62% for a total score of 133.
62. That's too low.
That's too low.
That's way too low.
74, 73, most 75, 7.5, however you want to word it. 71 is a little low to me, but like 62, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
Don't be so pretentious you can't enjoy things. That's my job. What do you think?
Yeah, 70, 72, in that range.
So you're more on track with IMDb.
Yeah.
7.1 is,
I agree. Yeah, I
but
agree.
62.
No, that's way too low.
All right. New York Times. Being a parody gives The Mummy license to indulge whatever farcical whims come into its empty head.
That's not a inaccurate review.
Ebert.
Here comes the inaccurate review.
Look, art, it isn't. Great trash, it isn't. Good trash, it is. It's not quite up there with Anaconda, but it's as much fun as Congo and The Relic. And it's better than Species. 3 stars!
Oh, God. So he thinks Anaconda
Is better than The Mummy.
is 3.5 stars?
Or 4. Wait, look up his star rating for Anaconda. No, his review spends a lot of time on like, this is not a good movie by like standard metrics. It is a fun movie. It's a mostly family-friendly action-adventure movie that you can just go, eat your popcorn, and enjoy whatever nonsense is happening on screen. It is a fun movie. Yes. You look like the mummy's about to just assimilate your organs.
He gave Anaconda 3.5 stars.
No way. Anaconda, 3.5 stars. It's as good as Baby Driver. Better than The Matrix. Anaconda, better than The Matrix. Better than The Equalizer. Better than Lethal Weapon 3. That might be true, actually, though. Better than Liar Liar. As good as Easy A. Better than the X-Men. Better than Don't Breathe. Better than The Crazies or Happy Death Day. Better than Under Paris. Well, actually, everything's better than Under Paris. And the list goes on. Anaconda got 3.5. John Voight's presence in Anaconda keeps it from being a 3.
Yeah, that takes away 2 stars.
Oof. No, I just thought you would enjoy. Good to trash, 3 stars.
He gave The Relic 3 stars.
It's been a long time since
The
I've
Relic
seen
is
The Relic, but
boring.
I remember not thinking much of it. And that's got Tom Sizemore. I like Tom Sizemore.
Man, my opinion of Roger Ebert just keeps going down.
Which is impressive because I kind of thought that would be impossible.
Yeah, we're almost at rock bottom, and I got a feeling that once we hit rock bottom, we're just going to start digging.
It'll just get where you break out the pickaxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Tevis, the mummy is here. You've got to lay it back to rest. What are your final thoughts?
Okay, The Mummy. This movie is not good. It's not. It doesn't make any sense a number of times. The villain is cool, but he does some just ridiculous, dumb shit. Like his attack is just basically walk slowly towards you and open his mouth really wide and throw sand. But he's still cool. Benny, I hate him mainly because of the actor. I can't get past that shitty accent. But you're right. The character of Benny is a great slimeball character. Jonathan, he doesn't do anything. He's just kind of there as comic relief. And I honestly can't think of one thing that he does that makes a difference in this movie. Brendan Fraser is absolutely amazing as Rick O'Connell. He is handsome, he's charming, he's funny. He has this heroic look about him and feel to him. He just oozes confidence.
Mm-hmm.
When we first get a glimpse of him after the prison scene where he's all dressed up and clean shaven and cleaned up, oh my god, man, he looks fabulous. He looks like a fucking hero. Rachel Weisz as Evie, holy shit, man, she is spellbinding. Like, it's hard to take your eyes off of her.
I think that's just because she's so beautiful, though.
But the way she portrays the character too, like the character is not. She is a damsel in distress at the end of the movie, but she's not a damsel in distress throughout the movie. She's the one that keeps telling everybody that we have to fix this problem that we created, and she's the one that is constantly. She's smart. She's constantly figuring things out, and she's funny, and she's charming, and she's never the annoying woman in the story,
I hate it when stories just constantly just bring their annoying women along.
Well, I feel like that was a thing for a while, where if you had a female character who was well off, she has to be so prudy that oh, I can't go there. I can't get dirty. I can't. No. Why am I on this camel? Ew, don't you know they spit? I learned that from Aladdin. Like, no.
Careful, they spit.
But she still does have that damsel in distress at the end, but it doesn't feel like a trope. It feels like it fits to the movie. And honestly, it's easy to see why O'Connell falls for this character.
Because she's an attractive woman.
Yeah, but she's more than that. The Magi, they don't do shit. They're bad. I don't know why they were even. It would almost have been better just not to assign anybody to protect the tomb. It's like you guys didn't do shit anyway.
They just saved on payroll.
Yeah, you put more bullet holes in it than you did anybody. But no, this movie is not good. It doesn't make any sense. But this movie is fun. I absolutely had a ball watching this movie. There's so many things that I'm just like, why the hell did they choose that? That mummy looks like shit. Why the hell did they choose to show me this? This looks like shit. But I still had a blast. This is not a good movie, but it's a fun, entertaining movie. And it's worth the ticket price.
Like Baby Driver.
No. I did not once get annoyed at the main character, the one I'm supposed to like. Nope. This movie is awesome.
My turn?
Your turn.
Okay. Going into this, I was nervous. This was a movie that is like, oh, what do you think of The Mummy? Oh, I love The Mummy. Classic. It's a classic. Been a fan of it forever. But my concern was watching it objectively for the show. It's going to ruin that, as it's ruined several others. So I watch it for the show, obviously, and we've talked about it, and I've thought about it, and I've got my notes on it. This is not a good movie. But as you put it, this is a fun movie. This movie captures what movies are supposed to be: entertainment. It doesn't do it in any kind of game-changing, grandiose way, and nothing is done so particularly well that it stands out. But it's all done competently enough, with a fun enough idea, and with the idea of the audience having fun being at the center of its concept. And they succeed in that goal. Make a fun movie that the audience has fun watching. Not everything needs to be a beautiful mind.
I agree with that.
Because if that's all you watched, you would cut your throat. The Mummy from 1999 is worth the ticket price.
Hell yeah. Unlike Baby Driver.
And it is still, shut up. It is still one of my, like, if you're just like classic movies from when I was growing up. You know what? The Mummy is still there. I'm still going to recommend it, and I'm still going to watch it probably once a year, like I typically do. Since we've had kids, not so much because time is what it is, but there was a good long while where my wife and I would just marathon them like once a year. We'd just be like, Monday night, Mummy. Tuesday night, Mummy 2, Mummy Returns, and then one year we did Mummy 3, the Dragon Emperor or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
After that year, we stopped at Mummy Returns because we went, don't need to watch Dragon Emperor anymore. But we're not talking about the Dragon Emperor, whatever that one is.
Not yet.
We're talking about The Mummy. Worth the ticket price. So much fun. Just kick back, have fun. Man, The Mummy is cool. It's like, okay. This is like the rebirth of the old Universal black and white, The Mummy's Curse, which all that stupid thing did was shamble around covered in toilet paper and like choke people, right? It's like, okay, well, how do we modernize that? How do we make it fun and action packed? And how, what can we do to make it cool? Oh, we make him look cool. And we gave him cool powers. And he actually does things. This mummy is cool. And it makes me angry that this mummy wasn't Dracula. So, 1999's Mummy, worth the ticket price. And if you're wanting to watch Last Voyage of the Demeter, watch 1999's The Mummy.
Yeah.
You'll get a better villain.
Just don't.
You also get a more accurate villain. But that's neither here nor there. All right, hat time. Hat time before you and I mount our camel and ride off into the sunset.
It's your turn.
All right, my first movie draw of 2025. Let's do it. All right, I'm looking. All right, I got one. Here we go. Okay.
You look confused.
I am a little confused, but that's normal.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I know this movie has Scarlett Johansson.
Black Widow?
Yeah.
Cool. We're doing Black Widow?
No, we're not doing the movie Black Widow, but
Oh.
like Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, like most people know her as Black Widow.
Oh, I see. You were saying yes to the character that's who.
Yes, I thought you were trying to place who Scarlett Johansson
No, I'm
was.
trying to guess the movie that we're doing.
Oh.
If I was a blind person, I would know who Scarlett Johansson is.
So I just made inappropriate hand gestures. Man. It's not MCU.
Okay.
It is an action movie. That's all I got. I don't know anything about this movie.
Okay, you got me then. I have no idea.
Lucy.
Is that the spinoff of the Peanuts?
Where she finally hooks up with Wolfgang,
Yeah,
or Beethoven, or whatever the piano
Mozart kid.
Mozart, yeah,
Piano Man. I don't know what his name was.
Billy Joel.
Yeah. Elton John. No.
Elton John was not the piano man.
Yeah, that's true. Elton John's looking at the Magi guy.
So are we.
That's true.
And so is Scarlett Johansson.
I mean, everybody should be looking at the Magi
Do you
guy.
have eyes? My God. No, Lucy.
The film.
The movie.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson.
Sounds great.
I don't know what this is.
I have no idea either.
So you've not seen it?
No.
All right.
I vaguely remember seeing a poster with her face in white. I think. Yeah. Okay. Here it is. 2014 action sci-fi. It's rated R. Okay. See, IMDb says it's Lucy, a woman accidentally caught in a dark deal, turns the tables on her captors and transforms into a merciless warrior evolved beyond human logic.
Well, this sounds terrible.
Okay. Got Morgan Freeman in it.
Hey, Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Wait, she evolves into a merciless warrior beyond human comprehension?
I guess.
I would ask what that means, but I know from context we can't understand what that means because it's beyond our human comprehension.
Oh.
Okay. Well, hey, tune in next week for episode 75
Lucy.
as we look at a movie we've got nothing on. So fresh takes all around. All right. Tevis, do you have anything to add?
It's directed by Luc Besson.
I don't know who that is.
Fifth Element.
Oh, okay.
That's all I got on the thing.
On Mr. Besson.
Oh no, I know he's done. He did The Professional.
That sounds familiar.
Leon, The Professional.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know he did that
With the French guy from Matthew Broderick's Godzilla.
Yes, and Gary Oldman as well.
Gary Oldman's in Leon the Professional?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays the main bad.
Does he play
Drexel?
Drexel?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, that might be the professional character that he plays might be his second best villain performance.
Oh.
Drexel being the one.
Wasn't he a bad guy in Harry Potter?
I don't know. I've never watched Harry Potter
Because he was a
because
murderer.
I'm a grown ass man, and I watch Star Wars. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Never mind. I was about to say something that's probably really problematic, so I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Anything to add?
No.
All right.
Lucy.
Lucy, next week. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. If you haven't already, hit that follow button and turn on the bell so you get the notification so you don't miss any of our episodes, regular or bonus. We've got a lot of bonus content and a few surprises coming out this year. You don't want to miss them, so turn on notifications. Make sure you share this around to all your friends. Hit the links below. Let us know if you got bingo, and check out the merch store. Plenty more of that coming too. Let us know what you think of The Mummy and favorite moments, least favorite moments, etc. Let us know if Benny's death was too harsh or not harsh enough. And we will see you, hear you, ignore your request for us to stop next week as we watch and review Lucy. Until then, as always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and good night. I love the sand, the mouth, bastards.